Each of us gives the other a statement that may seem illogical, and the other tries to make logic of it. That's simple. And my statement going into the 2019 Tampa Bay Buccaneers season, Zac Blobner, is simply this. Ronald Jones gets 800 yards rushing. Noah Spence gets 8 sacks. Which one happens and why?
Am I picking between the two?
You can pick one of the two.
Oh, that's weird. I can do both.
Okay, that's fine.
The Ronald Jones one.
Multitask, brother.
Ronald Jones one is easy. Payne Barber gets hurt. They don't have anybody else. Andre Ellington's not carrying the ball.
Still a lot of yards for a guy that only got 40 yards last year.
16 games, bro. If Barber gets hurt week 1, Rojo's going to be getting a lot of touches he wouldn't get otherwise.
Might go and get it back if he's not ready to go. Think about it. If that happened last year, what would have happened? They would have got another back.
Only way Rojo gets to 800 yards is if Barber misses significant time. And even then, it's like, it'd just be garbage time points.
According to Rojo, he's going to lead the team in rushing. I'm just telling you.
Don't. That's one side of it. That's easy. Yeah, if somebody gets hurt and they're just force-feeding him, I mean, he'll crawl to like 3 yards, series. Adds up after a while. So that's one side of it. That's the only chance he has, is if Payne Barber goes down. To even get, if Payne Barber's healthy all season or most of the season, Jones ain't getting there. Not rushing. Not alone. No. On the other side of it, Noah Spence also I think is dependent on injury. Because he's going to get opportunity in this, new defense. Todd Bowles is aggressive, so he's going to send a lot of blitz packages, which is good for him. JPP most likely not going to play at least for a couple months once the season starts. And that's best case scenario, right? Like, best case scenario, JPP starts playing in November. Best case. So, Noah Spence will get opportunities. I just think maybe the way the schemes are drawn up, they're going to send guys a lot. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities. I don't think him getting 8 sacks is necessarily indicative of it being a great year for him on the line, as much as it is, again, an aggressive defense, a lot of blitzing, a lot of packages that are going to get him in there. Plus, aren't they sliding him back to play off the ball? Isn't that one of the things they talked about doing with him?
Yes.
That's how Todd Bowles likes to use his
Still going to
guys.
blitz him now.
Yeah, but from the outside, I think it's going to help him too, utilize some of his skill set. So I think, it's very different, but also kind of similar to what I say about VH3. It's easier on defense because the offense was clicking so well last year that if you couldn't get some on offense last year, I don't believe you're going to get some on offense this year. Defense, on the other hand, it's going to be such a different scheme, an aggressive scheme. Guys are going to be used differently. We're talking about the DBs, the linebackers, the linemen. I think that there's room to believe that all those guys can improve and find ways to get to the quarterback, to turn the ball over. It at least gives optimism that there's a chance for change. Again, defensively speaking. Offensively speaking,
Okay, handled well. Let's go.
Oh, you're ready. I was wondering why you're looking at me like that. I was like, why is he so pumped? We're going to go to Lightning Hockey. And this is a crazy rumor, and it is a rumor, and there's nothing to it. No sources, no backing. But some backdoor website did say that Braden Point might be traded to Detroit.
Blasphemous.
It's crazy. It's not happening. But, paint me a picture where the Lightning are still able to have a pretty damn good Stanley Cup run regardless of Braden Point being on this team in 2019-2020.
Well, depending on what you get back for him, that's one thing. But
Start there. What would you need to get back?
I'd have to get back another center. You definitely would have to get a center back. I mean, it's cool to think that you have the forwards to play. He's arguably your number 1 center, your number 2 center, however you want to work it out when it comes to playing with Cooch, not playing with Cooch, not playing with Stammer. Bottom line is, he's either your number 1 or number 2 center. You've got to get that back. That's number 1. Number 2 is, who else plays center for you now? And listen, when you're certainly not wishing on injuries, but if you do have an injury, we saw it a couple of years ago when Stammer went out. And his team put up the fight it did without Steven Stamkos, which is a good thing. You would hope that would happen again. You'd have to find out. You'd have to find centers. Certainly, the guy that would probably move up to being the number 2 center would be Cirelli. 71. He'd be the guy that now play more against the top centers, top lines in the league. He's already doing it now, and he plays on a penalty kill now, but he'd do more of it. And I remember last year during the playoffs, I asked him about the power play, and one of the things he said to me is, "Dude, I'm not on a power play." He would be 2019 if Braden Point wasn't here. He'd be on the power play, which, by the way, changed anyway in the playoffs because eventually he was on the power play. He was put on the power play. But that would be more what you'd see. You'd see more of Cirelli. Cirelli would have to be the next guy to take up the slack when it comes to the scoring and also playing against the top lines in the league for the Lightning opponents. What you get in return, and also Cirelli would have to be that new guy stepping up as far as being that number 1 and number 2 center. It's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask of a guy, but remember, just last year he came up in March and played those games, played as well as he did his first month here, and this past year, which technically was his rookie year, he had the year that he had. So second year in, if he had to take that step up, I'm confident he would do it. If you look at the guys on this team that have had those type of third years, whether it be Yanni Gord or Braden Point, those guys have improved each year, including your guy, Cooch. All those guys, numbers-wise, points-wise, goals-wise, improved each year. And I'm looking for Cirelli to do that again this year, whether points there or not. But he would be the guy that would get most of the responsibilities if Braden Point wasn't here.
I love it. So Len just admitted there would not be a big drop-off from Point to Cirelli. I'm just
That's
glad that you're finally embracing the truth.
That's not what I said. Listen, the attitude is, no matter what business you're in, whether it's the radio business or whether it's sports, next man up. And in that situation, Cirelli would be the next man up.
I'm just glad that you admit there's not a big drop-off between Cirelli and Point.
You know what? Again, Zac Blobner. That's a good story, get in the way of the truth. Blobner Martez, the Logic Zone. We do it every Saturday morning at 10:30. Again, presented by Jerry Ohm, the number 1 Ram and Jeep dealer. Blobner, the NFL suspension list for the start of the season has some interesting names